On this episode of Sports Paws, the men's hockey team gets its season started with the home-and-home series against Holy Cross. How did they do? We'll show you.
And the women's hockey team took a trip to Orono, Maine for a doubleheader with the Black Bears. We'll let you know how Cassandra Turner's squad did in their first road matches of the season.
The men's soccer team takes on Marist at home and Monmouth on the road. Will they break their losing streak?
And as always, we'll give you the top 5 plays of the week. Sports Paws starts right now.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Sports Paws. I'm Victoria Rutigliano.
And I'm Dylan Fearon. Fall sports are well into conference play, Victoria, and both hockey teams have started their regular seasons. Let's start with the men's team, who had a home-and-home series against Holy Cross. Victoria, take it away.
You heard Dylan. They started out in Worcester, Massachusetts for their first game of the season. Let's check out how they did. We're going to take you a minute and 27 seconds into the first period with Holy Cross's Mike Barrett passing it over to Scott Pooley. He sends it back and he scores first goal of the game, 1-0 Crusaders. Sam Annis will score though 3 minutes later to tie up the game. Later on in the first, we're going to see Travis St. Dennis sending it over to Annis, who's going to send it right over the net. Close but no cigar. It is still 1-1. We'll take you to the second period now. Sam Annis now is going to have his second goal of the game. We're going to see Devon Taves taking a shot. He doesn't get it. Landon Smith, he can't either, but that's okay because Sam Annis will. He makes it 2-1 Quinnipiac. That is his second goal of the game. 12 seconds later, Holy Cross is going to have its chance with Ryan Farrell scoring on Michael Gartig. We're going to see an assist here by Matt Vidal. Later in the second period now, Matt Vidal is going to have another chance, but Gartig gets his pad out just in time. So we are going to keep it 2-2. Later on, we're going to have Bo Pieper get his first goal of the season. He scores. Devon Taves gets his second assist of the game. He did great in this game. But 4 minutes later, Holy Cross is going to be right back at it with Matt Vidal scoring on Michael Gartig. He was instrumental in this game for the Crusaders. The game is now tied 3-3. With a minute and a half left in the period, though, Landon Smith is going to seal the deal for the Bobcats. He's going to get this rebound, score, and he makes it 4-3. Tim Clifton will score, though, in the third period to make the game 5-3. Here's Rand Pecknold after the game.
I think we need to play better. We gritted it out tonight. We were sloppy at times. We had about 12 guys who were really good. Had about 6 who were petrified and scared and nervous and just, didn't do a good job. So it was. I think Holy Cross had a little bit of that too. It's the first game of the year and there's some jitters. So hopefully we'll settle down, have a little more composure, and play our game. And we really need, I think, ultimately, our forwards need to do a better job of grinding out a forecheck. It wasn't good. That was probably our weak point tonight.
The quick turnaround next day on Saturday, it's Quinnipiac Holy Cross. This one from the High Point Solutions Arena in Hendon. Quinnipiac trying to go to 2-0 on the season. Here we go, first period early on. Holy Cross with a turnover, but it's Thomas Allworth who's there. Hits it to Soren Janssen who scores on the right side. 1-0 Quinnipiac early on. Then
I think we're going to see that goal again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Top 5 plays, look for it. End of the first period now. Tommy Nixon, not 1, not 2, but 3 saves on goal there. KJ Tiefenworth, Tim Clifton, Scott Davidson could not get it on goal. Then 1:21 left in the second period. It's Michael Laffin to TJ Moore, shoots and scores. 1-1 Quinnipiac and Holy Cross. We go to the second period now. There's going to be a tussle in front of net. Soren Jansson's in the middle of it. Captain is always everywhere. Scored, did a little bit of everything, and pushing and shoving, and he's going to help his team out. 9:27 left in the second period. It's Tiefenworth in front of goal. Thomas Allworth getting his first goal of his Quinnipiac career. 2-1 Quinnipiac. Allworth was huge this weekend. 4 minutes later, Quinnipiac's on the power play. Landon Smith is going to bounce it off Nixon, and Tim Clifton's there to clean up the mess. 3-1 Quinnipiac. But then here comes Holy Cross now. TJ Moore is going to get it to Mike Barrett, who shoots and scores. It's 3-2. Holy Cross not going away in this series, Victoria. Then we're into the third period. Late in the game, Travis St. Dennis, he's on the first line, shoots just inside the blue line, and scores 4-2 Quinnipiac. They take the sweep of the home-and-home series over Holy Cross, but not before a little scuffle right in front of net. Michael Gartig there to clean up the mess. Here's Thomas Allworth, the rookie, post-game.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Rem for the game. Tells me to move my feet, move my legs. That's how I'm effective. So I like to just try to use my speed as much as I can, get on the forecheck and create opportunities. Well, I think we're a lot more defensively responsible. in this league. Like in the BCHL, I could do things and not have the puck end up at the back of my net. But I know if I don't pay attention to details in NCAA, it's gonna end up a goal again. So it's definitely like a lot harder when it comes to being defensive and things like that.
After the game on Saturday, Q30's Andrew Badillo and I gave our fast reactions to the Bobcats' performance this weekend.
In its first home game, the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team defeats Holy Cross 4-2, sweeping the weekend series and moving to 2-0 on the season. Good afternoon, everyone. Andrew Badillo joined alongside Victoria Rutigliano. And Victoria, what was your main takeaway from the game today?
My main takeaway from the game was Thomas Aldworth. He's a freshman, he's brand new to the team, and he saw a lot of minutes in this game. In those minutes, he had a goal, he had 2 assists, he was bending around players. You heard Tim Clifton in the press conference say, this player is so fast. All of a sudden, he gets the puck and he is skating through players down the ice. He's a player that, like Rand Pecknold said, is a lot like Sam Annis and Landon Smith, big names for the Bobcats starting out his season. So he's a player that we need to look at throughout the rest of the season, because in this game and throughout the entire weekend, he was a force to be reckoned with. He played on the first line the first game, the second line the second game. So his entire stance this first series was very impressive to me.
And Quinnipiac, a team last year that struggled to score at times, this year it seems that they have much more depth in the forward lines. Victoria, moving along, there were points in this game where it seemed like there were breakdowns in the defensive zone. On both Holy Cross goals, the goal scorers were pretty much wide open or underneath the circles. What were your takeaways from what happened in the defensive zone for Quinnipiac?
Well, Andrew, the first thing we need to note is that they are missing a huge defensive player in Dan Federico. Him leaving to graduation, he was a big player on the ice. Connor Clifton played his first 2 seasons with him every single game. So they're missing a big chunk of their team on defense. Coming off that, Connor Clifton is learning to play with a new player, Chase Prisky. You saw him out on the ice. He looked strong, but still, he's a new player. He has nerves. There's a lot the players need to learn. And I just think in the defensive zone, the players need to focus on staying with their man. When the puck comes down the ice, they can't be drawn towards the puck. They need to stay with their player so that when the puck gets past the other players, there's someone there and they don't have an open net, because that is how both of the goals were scored for Holy Cross.
Rand Pecknold did mention post-game that defense was an issue for his team in this game, but moving forward, it's something that they would like to address. And moving along now to the physicality of the game, you saw Tim Clifton and Connor Clifton get in it with Holy Cross players at the end of the game. Tim Clifton in the post-game presser kind of laughed at it. He was like, it's just a battle out there. Mm-hmm. Victoria, what you see with the physicality in the game?
I thought it was a great addition to the game. I mean, the Bobcats have always been a very physical team, love to get into the other team's heads. I saw this in the game yesterday at Holy Cross, and we saw it again today. Soren Janssen had 3 different penalties in the game, and I think that's one way that the Bobcats are able to get more into the game and get more into the heads of the other players, and it definitely showed in both these games. I mean, they won the first game 5-3, they won this game 4-2. Definitely an important part of their play, and it showed.
Well, that'll do it for us from High Point Solutions Arena. Quinnipiac defeating Holy Cross 4-2. If you want to check out more on our website, visit it at q30television.com. For Victoria Rutigliano, I'm Andrew Badillo. Have a good one.
Now let's bring in Sierra Goodwill to talk about the successful weekend for the Bobcats. Sierra, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So you were at both games. Bobcats are 2-0. What were your biggest takeaways from the series?
My biggest takeaway from opening weekend was the depth of this team. On Friday, after the first game, Rand talked about how he doesn't have his starting 6 quite set in stone yet, but he has the flexibility to switch around his lines. For example, Craig Martin and Joe Fiala saw some minutes in Game 1, but were replaced Game 2 by Cannon Pieper and Luke Shiplow. Aldworth played in the first line on Friday, second line on Saturday. Still, with these new players being nervous, lineups being changed, the players don't quite know their roles yet, but they still looked pretty put together and were able to pull out 2 wins. There were contributions from players on all 4 lines. Junior Sam Annis had a night on Friday with 2 goals and an assist. Soren Janssen doing his thing, adding a goal. Bo Pieper getting in the mix with a goal on Friday, and KJ Tiffenworth with a couple of assists. This weekend, I think we saw how deep this team really is and can be moving forward.
So now, which player stood out the most to you this weekend?
There were a couple players that stood out to me this weekend, but I think freshman Thomas Aldworth really was especially impressive. On Saturday night, he showed that he's going to be someone to watch through this whole season after his goal and 2 assists. He really created opportunities on the forecheck as well on Saturday night, which is something that Rand talked about on Friday that they really needed to improve on. What I thought was most impressive, though, was his speed. In the presser after the game on Saturday, Tim Clifton was talking about him and kind of joked that when Aldworth gets the puck, he just lets him go and watches him skate through defensemen left and right. That matched with his size, he's 6'1", Aldworth is going to have a serious impact on the Bobcats this year. And another player who I think stood out this weekend is Tim Clifton. He had a goal on Friday, a goal on Saturday, and I think the team just really benefits from the grittiness of his play. He's someone that the Bobcats are going to look to this year as a reliable offender, and I see him fulfilling that role quite well.
So you talk about how Aldworth and Clifton played well. On the flip side, were there any players who didn't stand out to you as much as you wanted or expected?
So I know it's only the first weekend. The players were really excited to get back out on the ice, but I think Captain Soren Janssen kind of let his emotions get the best of him this weekend. He did score a great goal on Saturday. However, I think the amount of penalties he got as the leader of this team was sort of unacceptable. Game 1, he kind of slipped under the radar, didn't make too much of an impact positively or really negatively. He did have a penalty for a slashing and only 1 shot on goal, but Game 2 is where things kind of went wrong for Soren. He had 3 penalties for roughing, tripping, and slashing, all in the second and third periods. You just can't have the captain of your team going to the box that often. Janssen was also right in the middle of all the scuffles between the teams, which, like I said, I think comes from the emotion and excitement of it being opening weekend. Tim Clifton, after the game, was talking about the character of this team and how excited they were to hit the ice. So I expect Janssen to kind of settle down and be the leader that this team needs him to be.
So now, what do you think is the most important thing that the team needs to work on moving forward this season?
I think there's a couple things this team needs to work on, but we're only 2 games in. But the defensive breakdowns that led to the Holy Cross goals really need to be minimized. On Saturday, both of the Holy Cross goals were scored from underneath the circles and were pretty much wide open. Connor Clifton's a returning defenseman who's playing alongside brand new teammates like Shiplow and Prisky. Federico graduating was a huge loss for the Bobcats, so it's going to take some time for this defense to rebuild. But let's not forget, we're only 2 games in, and I have no doubt that Rand and his team will figure things out soon enough.
All right, well, thank you so much, Sierra, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks.
The men's hockey USCHO poll was released on Monday. North Dakota now sits atop the leaderboard after defeating Lake Superior State and tying Maine. Nebraska-Omaha has moved into 3rd place after pulling out 2 victories against Minnesota State. Minnesota State fell from 6th to 14th after its losing weekend, and Minnesota falls from 9th to 15th after getting shut out to Vermont 3-0. Minnesota Duluth moved from 2nd place to 7th after falling to Bemidji State 3-2. Quinnipiac moves 1 spot in the poll from 18th to 17th after defeating Holy Cross in its home-and-home series.
A lot of shuffling in that poll, Victoria.
Lots of it.
After the break, we stay on the ice to let you know how the women's ice hockey team fared in their 2 games at Maine.
Plus, men's soccer had 2 Big Mac games this week, and rugby took on Brown. All the information you need on Quinnipiac Athletics is coming your way after the break.
Welcome to A Sheer Sensation, North Haven's premier cosmetology service, located at 140 Washington Avenue, minutes from Hamden. We offer an array of services, from basic cuts and colors to lash extensions and formaldehyde-free keratin treatments. We also provide hair chalk and styling for men. When you spend $60, your Q card will get you 10% off. Call us at 203-239-6477 to make your next appointment at A Sheer Sensation.
My name is Doug Thoreau. For nearly 90 years, 3 generations of my family have been providing the highest quality repair service. Insurance companies will refer car owners to lesser quality shops to save money. At Thoreau Auto Body, we provide the highest quality repairs with a lifetime guarantee to maintain the safety and value of your car. That's the quality you deserve. Thoreau Auto Body, our best work goes unnoticed.
Welcome to Joya Spa and Salon in Hamden. Whether you want a new look or the perfect wedding day hair, come to us for complete hair and nail care, cuts, styles, updos, extensions, and beautiful dimensional hair color, as well as manis and pedis, acrylics, gels, and shellac. Treat yourself to a facial, a peel, or microdermabrasion. Relax with a variety of massage techniques, including Swedish and hot stone massage. Joya Spa and Salon. Call today.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The women's ice hockey team kicked off their season a couple of weeks ago, winning the latter of 2 games at Mercyhurst after tying one. This past weekend, the Bobcats went up north to play the Maine Black Bears in a doubleheader. In Game 1, both teams were deadlocked at 1 with 5 minutes remaining in regulation when a Melissa Samuskevich shot was saved by Maine goaltender Megan Tracy. But the rebound went right to sophomore TT Cianfrano, who one timed into the left side of the net for the game-winning goal. Nicole Costa empty netter with seconds remaining on the clock gave Quinnipiac the 3-1 win. Then on Saturday, both teams faced off again, and this one wouldn't be as close. Bobcats took on Maine in the Saturday matinee 5-1 behind goals from Emma Woods, Nicole Costa, Nicole Connery, and 2 from Cianfrano, giving her 3 goals on the weekend. Costa's goal was her 100th point of her career, which makes her the 3rd Bobcat to get to 100, joining Kelly Babstock and Cheyenne Darkangelo. Goaltender Sydney Rossman stopped 28 of 30 shots on the weekend as the Bobcats improved to 3-0-1 on the season.
The women's hockey poll is out this past week. Minnesota continues to hold the first place position, receiving all of the first place votes. The Gophers blew out the St. Cloud State Huskies 7-0 Friday and 11-0 Saturday. BC and Wisconsin both hold their same positions in the poll, with the Eagles defeating St. Lawrence 7-4 on Sunday, and the Badgers holding Ohio State scoreless, winning both games this weekend, one 7-0 and the other 8-0. Quinnipiac moves up 1 spot in the poll from 8th to 7th after winning both of their games against UMaine this weekend. And we're going to take you straight to the men's soccer game against Marist. Will they get their first MAC win? Let's see. We'll take you straight to the second half here. Quinnipiac's already up 1-0 after a goal from Ryan Schneiderman. And we're going to see here that Rashawn Daly is going to pass it to Matt Taylor, who takes a shot, but it just hits the left corner. Now we're going to have Kevin Kapik taking a free kick, and Dylan McVeighn's going to head the ball in here. Beautiful goal here by Marist, and he ties the game up 1-1. Later in the second half, we're going to see a shot from Tanner Job 10 feet out, but the Red Fox goalie just gets a tip on it. Now, later on, Marist Brian Coates shoots. Tristan Henry making a great save. Another shot there, no goal. Still 1-1, we're taking this to overtime. In overtime, Quinnipiac's Matt Taylor's going to take a cross, but the Red Fox's goaltender dives in, makes a save, still 1-1. Second overtime now, we're going to see Marist's Zachary Reed taking a shot from outside the 18, but this is an easy save for Tristan Henry, and the game ends 1-1.
3 days later, the Bobcats traveled to West Long Branch, New Jersey to face their toughest competition of the MAC schedule, the Monmouth Hawks. Coming to the game, the Hawks were undefeated in MAC play, and they would stay undefeated as Monmouth took this one 3-1 over Quinnipiac. Fans were still making their way to their seats as the Hawks took the lead just 11 minutes into the game. Goals from David Camacho and Derek Luke made it 3-0 Monmouth with just 25 minutes left. Bobcats got on the board thanks to Toby Esch, but it was too little too late as the Bobcats fall to 0-7-4 overall and 0-2-2 in MAC play. Next game for Quinnipiac, Manhattan away on Wednesday before 3 straight home matches.
The first few games of the MAC season have begun for the men's soccer team. Monmouth currently stands on top of the leaderboard, sporting a 4-0-1 record so far. The Hawks were chosen in the preseason poll as a conference top contender, and they're proving their worth so far this season. Marist is right up there with Monmouth with the same record. They had 3 players named MAC Players of the Week last week after tying Quinnipiac this week and defeating Fairfield. St. Peter's and Sierra sit close behind with 3 victories apiece. The Bobcats sit in 9th place right now and still have yet to pull out a victory.
The rugby team is now 5-1 this season after demolishing Brown and Providence 53-7. Bobcats are now on a 4-game winning streak thanks in large part to the play of sophomore inside center Ilona Marr, who had 3 second-half tries and 2 assists in the Bobcats' rout of the Bears. Heading into halftime, the score was 19-7 Quinnipiac, but the Bobcats threw the hammer down, scoring 34 unanswered points. Next up for Becky Carlson's squad is a home battle with the Central Washington Wildcats this Sunday. This fall, The National Collegiate Varsity Women's Rugby Association, or the NCVWRA, voted for a national championship starting this fall. A 5-person tournament committee composed of 3 athletic administrators and 2 coaches will choose which teams play in the 8-team championship and decide the seeds. Quarterfinals are on November 14th, while Brown University will host the Final Four from November 20th to the 22nd.
Well, it's time for another break here, but when we return, we'll let you know how women's soccer did on Senior Day against Monmouth.
And the field hockey team had 2 big games against Bryan and Providence. Plus, we've got the top 5 plays of the week. Don't go anywhere.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike's sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
We are your source for entertainment news.
Laser Medica Derma Centers is a new philosophy in skincare for all ages. We are dedicated to offering the most technologically advanced and least invasive skincare treatments. Show your Q card and receive 20% off any procedure. We also provide microdermabrasion and Botox treatments, all performed in a relaxing spa environment. We are conveniently located at 52 Washington Avenue in North Haven, just down the street from Quinnipiac's North Haven campus. Call to schedule a free consultation and find out how Laser Medica can give you smooth, sexy skin all year long.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. After starting the season 4-1, the women's soccer team has taken a couple of steps back, losing 4 of their next 5 games to even their record at 5-5. Just like the men's soccer team, the women took on Marist Wednesday to try to get back on track, but after 51 minutes in Poughkeepsie, Dave Clark and his Bobcats found themselves down 2-0. Then just 10 minutes later, junior forward Jess Fontaine netted their 4th goal of the season to bring Marist lead to just 2-1. With 5 minutes left in regulation, junior Kelly Caruso drew a foul in the penalty area, and it was Caruso herself who stepped up and buried the ball into the back of the net to tie the game at 2 goals apiece. But with 6 seconds left in the second sudden death overtime period, Camille Bowen of Marist scored off a header to give the Red Foxes the win and the 3 points. Absolute heartbreaker for Quinnipiac Victoria, who go to 5-6 overall and 1-3 in MAC play.
We're now going to take it to the soccer field with the women's soccer team taking on MAC contender Monmouth. Let's check out how they did. In the first half, 25 minutes into the game, we're going to see Monmouth's Brianna Boyle shoot from 25 yards out. What a cannon that was. And she sends the game 1-0 Hawks. Minutes later, though, Quinnipiac will have its turn to score with Jess Gargan scoring off a cross from Kelly Caruso. The game is now tied 1-1. We're now going to move it into the middle of the second half. We're going to see Amanda Westman take a kick for Quinnipiac and Nicole Erickson head the ball into the net. What a great direction from her head. Great goal right there, 2-1 Bobcats. 15 minutes later, though, we're going to see Alexis McTamney trying against 3 defenders. She wants a call, doesn't need one though, because she's going to score anyways, and she ties the game up 2-2. Great work there by McTamney. Later on, though, we're going to see her get into a little tussle with a Quinnipiac defenseman. She'll get a call. Fouls were big in this game, and then we're going to see later on a Quinnipiac player get her own call. That was Madison Barowich. And we're going to take this game now into double overtime. What's going to happen? I'll let you know. Nadia Gill right here scores a goal, wins the game for the Bobcats, the freshman superstar. And let's take it to head coach Dave Clark and Gill, who spoke after the game.
I love this game. The beauty of the game is that there's always highs and lows. And as a couple of the players said the other night, to lose with 6 seconds, that's the low. And then the high today is to win in overtime. So the fact that it's against Monmouth, the best team in the conference, the rival from the NEC, and the program that I hold in the most esteem, and the MAC in the and from our time in the NEC too, it's a great win for us.
We all know that we're a team that can win and can beat any other team, and finally be able to execute it and do it really has boosted our confidence. I think all of us believe we can beat any team we face at this point.
With the women's soccer team playing in its senior game this past weekend, we're going to be handing out report cards for seniors on the team. The first senior we're looking at is Natalia Grodzki. Grodzki has been the starting goaltender for the Bobcats the past 3 years on a team that has struggled to score its own goals, totaling only 11 goals all last season. Grodzki still sat in 5th place in the MAC in saves per game with 4.6. So far this season, she has a save percentage of 68.4. For all of this, Grodzki receives an A for her season as the Bobcats goalie.
Nicole Erickson scored her first goal this season and the second of her career, and how fitting on senior day. Senior from Stamford, Connecticut has played and started in 11 of the 12 Bobcat games this season. She currently has 46 career starts in a Bobcat uniform. Erickson gets a B+ from me.
Amanda Baroka is the next senior we're looking at. Baroka last year tied for the team leading goals with 3. Baroka has not missed a game yet in her 4 years on the Bobcat squad, playing in all 62 games and starting in 25 of them. So far this season, she has 1 goal and 2 assists. For her time on the Bobcats, she has received an A as her grade.
Jessica Jankowski is having a senior year to remember. Berkeley Heights, New Jersey product has 4 goals thus far this season, giving her 5 for her career. 4 goals this season is tied for the team lead with freshman Nadia Gill and junior Jess Fontaine. Jankowski has been a spark off the bench for Dave Clark's squad the past couple of years, making 41 career appearances for Quinnipiac. Tough to get an A from me. I'll give her an A-.
The final senior we're looking at during this segment is defenseman Ashley Wendland. Wendland actually started out as a forward for the Bobcats and later moved to defense. Wendland appeared in all 17 games last season, including 7 starts. So far this season, she's appeared in all 12 games, including 7 starts again. For her time on the squad, she earned herself a B.
Now, Victoria, it's time to go to the field hockey field where Becca Maine's squad is playing Bryant in the first MAC game of the season. Huge game for Quinnipiac, who had a tough non-conference schedule. Early on, it's the Megan connection. Megan Osanic with a pass to Megan McCullough, who's going to score her 3rd goal of the season. McCullough had a huge day. We're going to keep talking about her. Going into halftime, it's 1-0 Quinnipiac, and a minute into the second half, Dana Barlow is going to get Lily Shimo on the board. Barlow with the assist. Shimo's first goal of the 2015 campaign. It's 2-0 Quinnipiac. Just 10 minutes later, McCullough, we mentioned her before, we're going to mention her again. She gets the assist on Felicia Costanzo's goal. That's her first of the season. Wide open there is Costanzo. 3-0 Quinnipiac. Later in the second half, Victoria, 11 shots for Quinnipiac, 11 shots for Bryant. But who took advantage? It was Quinnipiac. Victoria Newell of Bryant is going to sprint, get it to Emily Perryman. First shot's blocked, second shot's missed. Bryant could not take advantage of their opportunities. 2 minutes left, Megan McCullough with another assist, second of the game. That's Angie King scoring 4-0 Quinnipiac, her 3rd goal of the season, and she's a defenseman. As we said, Victoria missed opportunities by Bryant is why this game was 4-0. 11 shots for each team. Perryman again is going to miss wide. And then again, Anna Kennedy, Nicole Planty hits off the stick, goes wide. No one can score on Bryant. Quinnipiac gets their first MAC win of the season. They're 1-0. Becca Main, big win for your squad. What'd you think?
I think it was a full 70 minutes for us. I'm really happy that, we have peaked at the right time. We felt this all week. We had a tough week of practice in terms of asking for more than just being mediocre or average. So I'm really, really pleased with it. It was a full 70 minutes. It was a team effort. We talked a lot about when you play MAC play, every one of our sports, it's all about emotion, who comes prepared, who physically can handle the highs and lows of the game, and I was very, very, very happy today.
The men's and women's cross-country teams hit the road this weekend for the New England Championship. The women's team had huge success, coming in second place out of 39 teams. Neve Ash came in 7th place overall in the meet. The men's team finished in 14th place out of 38 teams. Matt Mencher had the fastest time for the Bobcats, coming in 37th place overall.
The women's volleyball team went to Poughkeepsie, New York Saturday to take on MacFo Marist. Red Foxes pounced on the Bobcats from the start, winning the opening set 25-14. Quinnipiac would start to get in a rhythm in the second set and battled Marist into the 30s. Remember, it's first to 25 points. But the Red Foxes were too much, taking the second set 33-31, and then the third set 25-19. Freshman Jen Coffey had 13 kills, while her rookie counterpart, Kat Miller, recorded 17 assists in the loss. The next day, the Bobcats would fall 3-1 to Siena. Quinnipiac's now 1-6 in MAC play.
The women's tennis team bounced back Wednesday after its 6-1 loss Tuesday against UConn, defeating Sacred Heart 5-2. All 6 players in the Bobcats starting lineup won at least one match, with 4 players, Rachel Horan, Priyafin Lohafasian, Jennifer Liu, and Adrian Young, picking up 2 wins. Senior Sofia Zulinski won her 80th career match, which ties her for the most wins of the active roster with junior Cindy Young. This is the first win of the fall season for the Bobcats.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
I'll take the odds, you take the evens. At number 5, it's men's hockey versus Holy Cross. It's game 2 in Hamden, and it's going to be Holy Cross's TJ Moore. Wait for it here. He's going to score on Michael Gartag to tie the game 1-1. Look at the move here from Moore. Makes it 1-1. Gartag, absolutely no chance. But Quinnipiac would have the last laugh as they take the game and the series 2-0.
We're going to take it over to Bobcat Madness on Friday with Quinnipiac freshman basketball player Andrew Robinson throwing one down over 3 cheerleaders in a dunk competition. He did not win the competition, though.
Looking like Vince Carter there, but Donovan Smith gets the W. Number 3 now, it's men's soccer versus Marist. Tristan Henry used to saving it with his hands. He saves it with his head. Way to use your noggin there, Tristan. The UConn transfer looking good, but men's soccer is still winless.
We're going to take it back to the men's hockey game, and we're going to see Quinnipiac captain Soren Janssen roofing the puck over the Crusaders goaltender. What a beautiful goal that one was. Quinnipiac wins that game 4-2.
And the number 1 play of the week, it was senior day for women's soccer, but it was the freshman getting the game-winning goal. Nadia Gill's always been at the right place at the right time. Her 4th game-winning goal of the season. She's only 16 years old. Quinnipiac gets the win in double overtime against the tough Monmouth squad. Big win for Dave Clark's program. Huge win. That's all the time we have. Another episode of Sports Paws is in the book, Victoria.
That's right, Dylan. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook at Q30 Television.
And don't forget to visit our website at www.q30television.com. That's Victoria Rutigliano. I'm Dylan Fearon. We'll see you next time.